Hey! So, trying to get some just more content in general up onto the channel because money, basically. Content, money, need it. Realized that there is still some of the older content and older reviews missing on the channel, and one of them turned out to be this, the review of KINGSMAN from back in 2014, which I am told that this is one of the reviews that is considered something that people are still pissed at me about. Not like legitimately, but people who are still pissed at me for dumb shit. This is apparently a review that many people are still very upset about. Again, I have very much checked out of the being mad online scene for the most part, but apparently amongst folks who are angry for a living online, very few things are apparently as enraging as the fact that I enjoyed the movie KINGSMAN from 2014 and specifically thought that a scene that is in the movie, the scene that everyone remembers from KINGSMAN with the song Freebird in it, that I opined in the review that this scene that is designed to be enjoyed by the audience, I thought that that scene was funny. That this scene that is designed to be fun, that I thought that scene was fun. I hear at least about once every couple of weeks from someone who wants to know why I dared to enjoy this movie. And to be honest, this has something that has always baffled me. I always thought this was a very kind of normal take about this movie. That this scene is in the movie, which sort of stops the movie cold, goes on a little long, but is there to be gratuitous and just for fun. In a movie that is almost all gratuitous, just for fun stuff. You know, I thought kind of pointing that out in the review was a pretty normie-ass take. But people got very upset at the time, and every once in a while now I have to hear that people are still like weird and pissy about it, and I've never quite gotten it. Like, of all the stuff that I have said over the years in my old content, I try to be, folks, a very, yeah, I was probably out of line there, guy about a lot of stuff. But of many things that I will just never quite get, people being pissed that I liked the movie KINGSMAN will always sit kind of weird with me. And at some recent point, over the last week or so, I was attempting to explain this to someone, a friend of mine, that, yeah, people are still 10 years over at this point, 10 years later. I still hear back that people think it's like weird or enraging that I liked the first KINGSMAN movie. That this just baffles me, that this is considered one of the controversial takes from one of the periods of professional film criticism for me. And I wanted to show this otherwise what I think was a pretty kind of innocuous, normal, yeah, whatever kind of review of this movie. And couldn't find it. Couldn't find the old video, couldn't find it from the now defunct site that it was on, couldn't find it from the now kind of scrubbed out YouTube channels, and really it's not even on my channel. So this is that, yeah. It's been obviously to get it up on the channel, to make it comport with the current videos, to make it monetizable. There's been some re-edits, retouches to the visuals, but this is the original audio. It's most of the original cutting. I haven't re-edited myself, so this is the take. This is, if you are one of those like, oh, the Movie Bob review of KINGSMAN, it was such a thing, this is that, if you're curious. I will never quite understand what the hell everyone's problem was, but yeah, here it is. For posterity, here it is. You can see what the hell this was about. People are going to Google the Movie Bob KINGSMAN review. I might as well get the traffic, so here it is. With this intro on it to make it even more a new-ish video, I guess. I've been thinking about putting up, since it's been a while since we did the classic uploads of the original stuff, doing like maybe some commentaries or intro, outro videos for those. Again, let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. Compilation type things. But yeah, this is the KINGSMAN. If you are someone who is new to the channel or new to the personality here and you're wondering, what was the Movie Bob KINGSMAN review? Here it is. Be prepared to be underwhelmed by the legend. What even is this world?
KINGSMAN is a reunion movie for director Matthew Vaughn and comic book scribe Mark Millar, whose previous collaboration yielded the deliriously entertaining Kick-Ass, and the pairing isn't the only thing that's familiar. Much like that cult classic, this is another cartoonishly violent action comedy built around the premise of a troubled young man finding his direction to, well, manhood, by assimilating a real-life version of mythic heroism from popular culture, but this time with a decidedly, almost defiantly, British miasma as its setting and old-school gentleman spy iconography instead of comic book superheroes. The KINGSMAN of the title are an elite, extra-governmental, covert do-gooding spy outfit operating out of Great Britain, whose members consider themselves the modern-day incarnations of the Knights of the Round Table. The current Agent Lancelot has been killed in action while tracking a sinister conspiracy, which triggers a recruitment drive for a replacement. While the KINGSMAN typically recruit from the sons and daughters of old-school English aristocracy, Colin Firth's Agent Galahad believes that gentlemanliness knows no class in a changing world, and chooses as his prospect newcomer Taron Egerton's Eggsy Unwin, the impoverished street-tough son of an old friend to whom he owes a life debt. You can pretty much chart Eggsy's story from there if you've seen one other Clash of Classes British boarding school drama, or even just the Harry Potter movies. Dust-ups with snobby blue-blooded rivals, stern instructors with secret hearts of gold, tests with devious solutions, etc. Meanwhile, in a concurrent storyline, Galahad investigates and matches wits with Samuel L. Jackson as a psychotic Silicon Valley supervillain Valentine who thinks he can stop global warming by wiping out the majority of the human race using mind control rays that turn people into feral killing machines. No prizes for guessing that Galahad is righter than he knew about a changing world and that it will inevitably fall to Eggsy and the new generation of KINGSMAN to save the planet from certain doom. Now, there's a lot going on there thematically and story-wise, with Eggsy's boy-to-man, slobs versus snobs evolution, and Galahad's Romana Clef 007 mission getting roughly equal attention alongside the franchise-ready world-building and broadly comic digressions with Valentine and his sword-legged henchwoman Gazelle. At just over 2 hours, that's enough material to ensure that it never feels too long or wears out its welcome, but it also contributes to wildly inconsistent theme and tone that hold it back from attaining a transcendent greatness it hints at in its better moments. Much like Kick-Ass, it feels like whatever Vaughn and Millar see in one another, the director's earnest playfulness and the author's cynical nihilism never quite reconcile with one another to a full degree. On the one hand, all the unironic working-class hero business with Eggsy proving his mettle against the upper-class peers is undermined just a bit by the KINGSMAN's, and indeed the entire film's, equally unironic fetish for the trappings of old-school, upscale British masculinity, right down to the KINGSMAN themselves deriving their nigh-invincible fighting prowess largely from weaponry built into their dapper accoutrement and literally bulletproof bespoke Savile Row suits. It's all played just cheeky enough to almost work, and Egerton sells the hell out of his ultimate Act 3 transformation from bad boy to baby Bond, but it still feels a bit off for this particular story to pay off on the suit literally making the man. Elsewhere, the tone careens back and forth from trauma-level offensive humor to heartstring tugging and punch-pulling without a clear sense of rhythm. The KINGSMAN instructors pull the same variation on, "This test demands you to be a cold-blooded bastard. Ah, no, just kidding, it doesn't." So often you wonder why Eggsy keeps falling for it, but elsewhere we're asked to revel in bad-taste ultraviolence and shocking swipes at real-life celebrities and politicians. It all evens out once the two-track plot comes together and the film finds a sweet spot between worshipping and mocking Golden Age James Bond, but it takes a while. The best and also most problematic elements of the film are handily summarized by what will surely be its most iconic sequence, in which Galahad finds himself trapped in a Westboro Baptist-style rural American hate church where Valentine is testing his brain weapon and is forced to brutally punch, kick, shoot, stab, and otherwise human chainsaw his way through about 50 racist, homophobic red state caricatures. The whole scene is an utter contrivance. You can see the plot threads bending over backwards to make sure it occurs, and it's nakedly obvious that the whole thing only exists because they A, needed a set-piece scene for the spectacle of Firth making like Jason Statham and establishing how lethal the KINGSMAN actually are in action, and B, needed to work out a scenario for one of the good guys to brutally murder dozens of people but not have the audience feel bad for watching and enjoying it, with the results offered up utterly sans subtext. There is literally nothing going on beyond, hey, here's a whole mess of people the filmmakers and presumably most of their audience imagine it'd be satisfying to watch brutally beaten to death, being brutally beaten to death. Please enjoy. And on the one hand, while being an honest critic means pointing out that kind of contrivance, holy shit, did I love watching it. It's a contrived, string-yanking, audience's puppets thing, but it's a gloriously well-executed sequence, one of the most violent action scenes I've seen all year, and it transforms Firth from classy actor doing action for a laugh to legit blood-baptized action god in mere minutes. And you know what else? Yeah, I happen to be more or less on the same page with the movie. It was really, really, really satisfying to watch 50 or so get their skulls caved in for about 4 minutes. Sorry. Also, it's possible that the scene does actually fit into a broader undercurrent of disdain for all things American surging just below the story's surface, most explicitly exemplified by Valentine wolfing down McDonald's, dressing like a hybrid of Russell Simmons and Steve Jobs, and espousing a megalomaniacal philosophy somewhere between Romney-esque social Darwinism and the do-gooder capitalism of a George Clooney or a Bill Gates that even seems to have won over the Obama administration to his side. In fact, the longer it goes on, the more it feels like KINGSMAN's cheekiest gag is an implication that the world can and must be saved from the toxic influence of boorish garish, uncouth American imperialism by dignified, classy British imperialism. The whole movie is made of those same contradictions. It's messy, but it's fun. It's in bad taste, but it's so damn sincere. It's a guilty pleasure, but sometimes it feels so innocent. If it could only reconcile more of its tonal fluctuations, show some restraint in trying to do such a huge ending on a visibly mid-level effects budget, and maybe found a way to end on a slightly better or less problematic joke, it could have been a classic. As it stands, it's a ridiculously fun distraction buoyed by a game cast and the continued brilliance of Matthew Vaughn, sure to become beloved for what it does well and the degree to which it mitigates its shortcomings. This is a fun one, folks. See you next time.